Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. In case you're new around here, hi, I'm Carolina. I'm a holistic health coach and a wellness creator here on YouTube, and I just love sharing tips that help you grow, help you glow from the inside out, and help you feel your best. On today's video, we're going to be talking about my 7 top tips on how you can become your healthiest self. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to say before I jump into tip number 1 is that I have been through it with my own health journey. Many years ago, I really struggled with my relationship with my body and with food. I was really restrictive. I struggled with an ED. I lost a ton of weight. And I was just approaching things that are considered healthy, like working out and nutrition, from a place of trying to change myself because I didn't feel like I was lovable, I didn't feel like I was enough, and not from a place of nurturing, nourishing, and loving myself. And so that experience taught me a lot. And over the last 7 years, I have really deepened my relationship with health, and I've really come to embrace and treat health as something that is holistic. If you've heard the word holistic health before and you don't really understand what it means, just to put it in the simplest terms possible, when you're approaching your health from a holistic lens, you're not just thinking about food, you're not just thinking about workouts, you're thinking about everything in your life that affects your health. And that includes your sleep, your friends, home environment, your family, your spirituality. It encompasses your mindset and how you relate with money. Different things like that matter. You could be eating all the kale in the world, you could be eating super healthy, but have a really toxic romantic relationship, and that's gonna really affect your overall health. So that's what holistic health is really about. And throughout my journey, I decided to get certified as a holistic health coach. I got certified through IIN, and then I eventually also got a hormone specialization through NCI, and I've also been certified in active listening, and I'm currently becoming an integrative health practitioner also. So I just love educating myself and learning as much as I can about health so that I can change my life, and then as a result also share healthy tips online to help other people change their lives and just feel really good, right? Because at the end of the day, the reason why we want to be healthy is because we just want to feel good. So just wanted to start out by giving that context before we hop into any tips, because I think that that's really important. Okay, so with that said, let's hop into point number 1. Okay, first things first, let's talk about mindset. The way that you think about things, the way that you approach anything in life matters. The energy that you bring in really matters, right? And this kind of ties to what I was saying in the intro. And the biggest thing here, and just the thing that I want to really anchor this video on, is when you're trying to build a healthy life. If you want to be the best version of yourself, what you have to focus on isn't short-term results, isn't how fast can I get to X result, how fast can I lose weight, how fast can I get toned or whatever. Because most likely when you're just trying to get to a result really fast, you're either going to do very intense workouts, or you're going to restrict your body and not nourish it properly, and you might get to that really skinny body really fast, but it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to maintain, and you might gain the weight back or just eventually drop it because it's really extreme. So the biggest shift in my personal health journey that changed things for me was starting to approach my healthy lifestyle from a place of sustainability. The definition of sustainable is able to be maintained at a certain rate or able to be upheld. In other words, the best healthy lifestyle is one that you can keep for the long run, is one that you're gonna be able to show up for over time, and you're gonna see results no matter what because it's rooted in consistency. And a lot of people always ask me, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated? Where do you get motivation from? Yes, motivation is great, but you don't wake up motivated every day. Like, there are days that I wake up and I'm not excited to go work out. You know, my bed feels really comfy and I don't really want to get up. But consistency will always help you break out of those slumps, because if you're committed to reaching your healthiest self, and you know that that is rooted in just showing up as frequently as you can for the habits you want to have, you're gonna get those results, right? And you might not get it in a month, but in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, 3 years, you're gonna just keep getting better and better. And there's one book that I really love called Atomic Habits, and one game-changing concept from this book that I always remember, it's probably the biggest takeaway that I took from this book, is the power of tiny gains. So James Clear in his book talks about getting 1% better every single day. As you get 1% better and better, in the very beginning, you're not gonna see many results. In the beginning, it might feel like you're the exact same, but over time, those 1% gains start adding up and adding up and adding up, and then it's gonna get to a point where it's gonna just curve up exponentially, and you're gonna start seeing those results add up, and you're gonna get better and better exponentially, basically. basically. So this is the first thing I wanted to say. Focus on building a lifestyle that's sustainable. When you're approaching your health journey, just focus on coming from a place of, I want to be healthy, I want to have fun. And so I'm going to pick a routine, I'm going to pick habits and a lifestyle that are fun for me, because that means that I'm going to be excited to show up for them every day. And if I show up for them every day, I can develop consistency. And if I commit to consistency, over time, I'm going to get the results that I want. On the note of mindset, another really important thing I wanted to quickly mention is perfectionism. As a recovering perfectionist myself, I totally understand the pressure that we put on ourselves to be perfect or to seem perfect to other people or even to ourselves. But the thing about perfectionism is that it kind of causes us to live our life from 0 to 100, right? You're either all in on something, and then if you drop it, or if you miss a day, or if you just do something exactly perfectly, you feel like a failure, and then you drop it and you go to the opposite extreme where you're not doing anything at all. But that's kind of the opposite of balance. That's the opposite of a sustainable lifestyle. And so as much as you can, let go of the idea that you have to be perfect. And if you don't show up for a habit one day, don't use it as an excuse to drop everything. Just show up again the next day or the day after and keep going, because that's how you're going to be able to access the power of that curve that I was talking about. And that's in the power of mindset. All right, tip number 2 to help you become your best self, your healthiest self, is nutrition. And as an integrative nutrition health coach, like, I could not talk about this. Food really is medicine. What you put into your body and how you nourish yourself really makes a difference in how you look and how you feel and how you're able to show up every single day. So the biggest thing here is prioritize eating whole and unprocessed foods, basically foods that are not packaged. Just focus on eating real food. Get your nutrients from vegetables, from healthy grains, real protein, and things like that. As much as you can, try to avoid packaged foods, especially when you're cooking at home, right? When you go out to eat, you have less control over how they're cooking your food, etc. So whenever you're cooking at home, just try to nourish yourself with those real foods. Something that I think is a really big hack is finding recipes for veggies that just make them taste really good. I personally love throwing them in the air fryer or baking them and roasting them. It just makes them really tasty, and you just have to use the right seasonings, the right spices, and it can taste so good. So if you guys are looking for any inspo on that, I have a ton of videos on my page that can help you find ways to implement this. I have meal prep tutorials, I have what I eat in a day, and they always include a little PDF that's free in the description with all the ingredients, the grocery list, and the recipes. So there's just a free resource for you to check out if you're looking for an easy way to implement this into your life. Okay, a second thing you can do to just improve your nutrition is getting protein from high quality sources. I'm really big on protein. As you guys know, protein can give you so many benefits, from really strong hair and nails, more muscle growth, more results in the gym, and more sustained energy levels. And so when you are buying protein, what I would recommend is trying to get them from the best possible source. So I always try to buy chicken and turkey that's hormone free. I get pasture-raised eggs and grass-fed beef as well. If you focus on just looking for those words in the labels, you'll guarantee that you're getting the highest quality protein there. Blood sugar balance, super important here. I talk about this all the time, especially because I love talking about hormone health. Eating meals that have a high quality protein source, tons of fiber from veggies or complex carbs, and just a little bit of healthy fats, whether it's an avocado or a little bit of olive oil when you're cooking your food, that can really change the game for you, because that will help your insulin levels. It will help you stay full after you eat, so you're not snacking all day. One of the top things you can do for your nutrition is just avoid seed oils. If you don't know what seed oils are, it's basically any oil that's not avocado oil or olive oil or coconut oil. It's everything else, right? So it would be soybean oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, what else? Sunflower oil, safflower oil. All of those oils are actually really bad for your gut health. That can a lot of the times be the reason why you're experiencing acne or horrible gut problems. They're a lot of the times in packaged foods, but a lot of the times they'll also be in like almond milk or oat milk. So just check the ingredient label and try your best to not eat these oils. It's really good to just figure out what works for your body, right? Some people thrive on a vegan diet, some people thrive on a diet that is pescatarian, other people really can't tolerate dairy. So again, figure out what works for you and what makes you feel your best. And a lot of the times that's gonna require a little bit of experimentation and just being mindful of how you react to certain foods. Like for example, recently I realized that I actually don't process cashews very well. So I avoid eating them because it causes me to bloat, it causes me to have just like a lot of like gut flare-ups. Learn about your body and honor it. Listen to it and respect it. Last thing in terms of nutrition that I would say is really important here is balance. As I've said before, I've had moments in my life when I was really restrictive. I really didn't go out to eat that often because I was super just like intense about how I approached my health. And again, that is not sustainable. It's really important to add joy into your life, whether you're going to try a new restaurant with a friend, getting ice cream every now and then, or having that drink. I think that that is really healthy, and it's actually really important, because if you don't have these moments where you're adding in that fun, you're adding in that novelty, you're adding in that connection with people around food, it's gonna cause you to be into that 0 or 100. So as much as you can, just keep that in mind and remember that you deserve joy, and balance is always the healthiest thing that you can do in terms of nutrition. Let's go on to point number 3. Alright, point number 3 is sleep. This is so important, you guys, and it's something that I have personally been working really hard in my own journey, because as someone who has a lot of energy and who just tends to want to be around people and stimulated, learning to slow down at night and prepare my body to get enough sleep, to get to bed earlier, has been a conscious effort of mine. And I think that this is a really underrated part of health that a lot of people brush over. But the truth is that sleep is really important for our body. It's when our brain is consolidating our memory and storing all the information that we learned throughout the day. Our body is repairing our cells, our liver is detoxifying our hormones, and also we're just like replenishing our energy, right? So if you're someone who wakes up and you're really tired and you're feeling fatigued throughout the day and you're relying on caffeine to get through your day, you're most likely not getting enough sleep, or you just can make some switches to your sleep hygiene to just feel a lot better. And one thing that really helped me just to learn more about sleep and to understand how to get better sleep is the Huberman Lab podcast. I love Andrew Huberman. His episodes are really great. They're super informative and they're kind of long. So I recommend, if you're going to listen to the episode, just listen on 1.5 or 2x speed. Take notes. It's really great. I'm going to pop the episode here on screen and also link it below if you're interested in checking it out. But ultimately, the best things you can do for your sleep is to try to go to bed before midnight. And when you wake up, try to get some sunlight in your eyes if you can, and just have lights around in your living space or your working space throughout the day. Basically, our sleep cycle is really synced up with the day and night light cycles, basically our circadian rhythm. So if you're someone who's staying up really late, staying awake when it's dark, or seeing a lot of artificial light at night, that's gonna disrupt your cortisol and melatonin production, which is then gonna disrupt your sleep. So the best things you can do is to get to bed before midnight as much as you can. Obviously, I'm like in my 20s. I want to go out. I want to have a drink every now and then, go out with friends. So everything in moderation, but I try to get to bed around 11 or earlier during the weekdays as much as I can. To do that, I don't drink caffeine after 2 p.m. If I do have caffeine after noon, I usually have a matcha. I also have really started working hard on sleep hygiene. So basically just having a relaxing night routine that prepares me to rest. If I'm running around all over the place doing work or scrolling really late in the afternoon and into dinner or past dinner, my brain is too wired and my body is too wired. It's really hard for me to just like want to go to bed or to even feel tired. So what I've started to do is to actually end work at a reasonable hour, ideally around 6, max 7, and then really start unwinding, have a little bit of an earlier dinner as much as I can. And then I really like just like sitting in the living room with Pedro, watching some TV, watching some Netflix. We've been really liking the show Lost, so we've been watching that. And then I'll usually have a little bit of tea if I want, and then go do my skincare, get into bed, sometimes read a little. I haven't really been reading a lot lately, so just this already chills me out so much. And I also try to not scroll at least for like 30 minutes right before going to bed. If I'm scrolling on my phone, like I'm consuming so much information and seeing so much about other people's lives that it just gets me thinking in my head. So I really try to unplug from my phone at least 30 minutes before going to bed. Also, I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep a night, ideally 8, and using the Oura Ring has been really helpful to just give me more information about my body and about my sleep. I have really found that I get a lot more REM sleep, which is especially important for mood regulation when I do unwind before bed for a little bit of a longer period of time, and also when I just allow myself to get enough hours of sleep, so 7 to 8 hours. The last thing I want to mention about sleep that I've noticed personally personally in myself is that on days that I go to bed really late, let's say it's past midnight, or on days that I just like don't get enough hours of sleep, the next day I'm really bloated. And on days when I get a lot of good sleep, quality sleep, and I go to bed a little bit earlier, I notice that I'm not as bloated. And that's because getting enough sleep contributes to healthy cortisol levels. Whenever my cortisol is more balanced, I hold on to less bloat and I just feel lighter overall. That's just something I've personally observed in myself, and I definitely would encourage you to kind of explore with this. If you're someone who tends to feel bloated, try to go to bed a little bit earlier. Or if you're someone who struggles with not being able to lose weight, you might just be under physical stress because you're not resting enough, and then that just causes your body to be on fight or flight and hold on to that weight. Tip number 4 is movement. Let's talk about it. Working out is truly incredible for your health. It has so many benefits. It can help you with weight management. It can increase your energy levels and your focus. It can help you sleep better, help you prevent a lot of different health conditions. And also, it can be really fun. I think the biggest reason people don't work out or have a hard time when it comes to sticking with working out is because you're approaching it again from a not so great mindset, right? Maybe you're focusing on, I have to work out because I have to lose weight and I have to look a certain way, and it's not coming so fast, and then you feel unmotivated and you drop it. So the key here is finding forms of movement that you actually like so that you will look forward to it because it's an activity that you enjoy. Personally, for me too, a big reason why I love working out is because it really helps my mental health. Personally, when I don't work out, I get really grumpy and I get really just like low energy, unmotivated, and snappy. So I really show up for movement consistently because I know that it just makes me a happier person, and it gives me those endorphins, it gives me that dopamine, it gives me those happy hormones, and it just helps me live a happier life. Like, it just helps me be like how I am right now. Like, I had a great workout this morning, I felt so good, I broke a sweat, and therefore here I am filming a video, being productive, doing things I need to do. So figure out the types of workouts that you like, and know that there's gonna be phases in your life where you might be drawn more towards one type of movement, and other times you're gonna be drawn to other types of movement. Right now, my favorite forms of movement are running, Pilates in a reformer, so a Pilates class, and then also weightlifting and walking in my home gym, and also whenever I can, going for hikes. So that's personally what I'm currently loving, and because I enjoy it so much, it's just so fun to show up for and to do. And then also just figure out how frequently you realistically can work out with your schedule, with your routine. If you're really busy, maybe just try to show up for a workout 2 times a week. And then if you want to get to 5 times a week, just over time, add in 1 more workout a week. Build up that frequency that you want to get to. But start smaller if you're someone who just is really busy or doesn't have a lot of time. And then the last thing I want to say when it comes to working out is that if you're currently off of a workout routine, when you start working out again, it's gonna suck, okay? It's not gonna be really easy. In the first half of 2022, I had been traveling a lot and I was really off of a regular workout routine. And in the summer of 2022, I decided that I wanted to get back into working out. And I just remember going to some workout classes and just dreading it, just honestly hating it because it was so hard, right? I had lost my groove, and so I felt like I wasn't as strong as I used to be. I definitely didn't feel as energized to show up for it. And now here we are a year later, and I freaking love going to the gym. I'm so much stronger. I ran a half marathon, like I'm back into it. But in those first few weeks, it really sucked. You just have to get over that hump. You just have to get over that little hump in the beginning where you're gonna really not feel so motivated, you're gonna feel kind of weak, it's gonna be harder to get through the workout. Once you get past that, it gets so much easier. If you don't let yourself get past that and you don't get past those few weeks that suck, you're always gonna be in the hump because you're always gonna be showing up for day 1 again and again. So just focus on getting through that beginning part that feels really uncomfortable. Figure out workouts that you like, and then figure out how frequently you can realistically move your body so that you can stay consistent with that. Okay, tip number 5 is so important. Something that I don't see a lot of people talking about on the internet when it comes down to being your healthiest self is nervous system regulation. The nervous system is pretty complex, and I don't want to dive into it in depth in this video. Let me give a very quick and easy breakdown. Basically, our bodies are prehistoric, right? But we live in a world that is modern, that is full of stimulation, that is full of notifications, things catching our attention all the time. So stress is something that we have to be really aware of and really proactive with balancing out in this modern day, because it can really affect our health. And basically, when our amygdala, which is a part of our brain, picks up on a stressor, it sends a signal to the hypothalamus in our brain, which is the command center of our brain, and it will communicate with something called the autonomic nervous system, which is made up of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Whenever we detect a stressor, the sympathetic nervous system gets activated, which triggers something called the fight or flight response. I'm sure you've heard of it, but basically whenever our sympathetic nervous system gets activated, adrenaline is secreted, our heart rate gets faster, our breathing gets faster, and we are basically like activating these different parts of our body to fight that stress, to fight that danger. And then what happens, our cortisol gets raised, and ideally that stressor would pass, cortisol would fall back down, and then we would activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, so that you can then go back into a relaxed state. You can digest your food, you can feel really good. That's what ideally would happen. But the thing is that because there's so much stimulation all around us, a lot of the times we end up living in a state of chronic stress. So what ends up happening is that we're constantly in that fight or flight mode, and the parasympathetic rest and digest system doesn't get activated enough or as frequently as it should, so that we can be in a restful, peaceful, and healthy state of mind and of body. So what can we do about this? The key is nervous system regulation. Basically, that just means helping your body get out of fight or flight and into rest and digest as frequently as you possibly can. And there's a lot of different things that you can do to help your body with this. So I'm going to share a few things, and then just figure out 1 to 2 of these things that you feel called to and that maybe you can implement realistically into your life. Number 1, and this is probably my favorite, is breath work. I used to honestly think that breath work was not for me. I thought it was really hard, really weird. I was like, I don't want to just like be randomly breathing by myself. But honestly, it is so nice. Like, I freaking love breath work now, and I really think that it's helped me a lot. Meditation is also really great, and I usually include this in my morning routine, as you guys might have seen in some of my videos. I really like the app Open because they have these breathwork sessions that are only 5 minutes, and they usually pick a song to have in the background, and you just breathe along with the song, so it goes by really fast. And if you love music like I do, it's actually really fun, and now it's something I really look forward to in the mornings. Meditation is also an amazing tool, and there are meditations on the Open app, but you can also find meditations on YouTube. And I just find that doing this first thing in the morning really helps my body, and is also how I'm able to stay consistent with it. A couple other things is sleep. As we already talked about, really important for balancing out your stress levels, to helping your body just feel safe. Managing your caffeine intake. Guys, I love caffeine as much as you do, most likely, but this is something that I've had to get really real with myself about, because I was definitely over caffeinating before. If you're someone who drinks 2, 3, or more cups of coffee a day, or if you like cold brew, for example, definitely just be a little bit more mindful of this. And so personally, what's been really working well for me is doing 1 espresso shot before a workout, and then doing a matcha later on in the day. Just figure out what works for you as much as you possibly can. Like, if there's one thing you take away from this little tip, don't drink caffeine on an empty stomach, because when you do that, especially if you drink coffee on an empty stomach, it goes straight into your bloodstream and your adrenaline goes up way faster, which, as I said, that's like the kickstarter of the fight or flight response. So just try to have something in your body. I really like just having like a banana before my espresso, a piece of toast, like literally anything helps. A couple other things is, before you get into bed, try to really slow down. Getting into nature is also really helpful for your nervous system. Hearing the birds sing, or just being surrounded by nature is really grounding and can really help your body feel safe. So if you have a park near you, or the beach, or you're just able to have like your feet in the grass in your garden once a day, that can be game changing. Perceived stress is also really big here. Learning about this has also been really key on my personal health journey, because I can get really stressed out really easily. And so understanding that a lot of the times I'm just making things more stressful than they are has been really important for me to work on. And so if you're someone who gets really stressed out, or who struggles with control, try to let go a little bit of control and just realize that things don't have to be so stressful. And if you implement these other practices like meditation or breath work or getting more sleep, that's naturally gonna help you just not think everything is so stressful. And then the last thing is, there are some herbs that you can implement into your life that can really help with reducing your cortisol levels. I really like the stress adaptogens from Nutrafol. There's also a tincture that I really like like from Apothecary, which you can use before bed. The brand Within, which I'm also a big fan of, has a calm supplement. So I will link all of that as well as everything that I've mentioned in this video in the description. All right. The sixth thing that you can do to be your healthiest self is take good care of your liver and your gut. So fun. This is another thing that I think is very under talked about, so let's get into it. If you're not a holistic health nerd like me and you don't really know what the liver does in your body, basically the liver is like the garbage truck of your body. It just is in charge of removing anything that is toxic to your body, and that is done through your poop. The liver detoxification process is pretty complex, just like the nervous system, but the most important thing that you should know here is what is considered a toxin to your body. Well, a lot of things. Just to name a few: alcohol, any other drugs, medications, antibiotics, caffeine, processed foods, sugar, and then also pesticides, which can be in your food, and other toxic substances called endocrine disruptors, which can be in your makeup products, hair products, your pans, and the containers that you store your food in. And so taking care of your liver by removing the toxic load in your body can be really freaking powerful and helping you just feel really good and feel really healthy. And the thing is that there's toxic things all around us, and some things are more within our control than others. So for example, some things that I try to do is, again, be mindful of my caffeine as well as my alcohol intake. I've switched my makeup products to fully non-toxic products. I personally really like the brand Ilia. I've switched all of my pans to non-toxic pans, and I really like the brand Caraway, and primarily store all of my food in glass containers because plastic containers also have these endocrine disruptors. I mentioned liver and gut health, right? Because they're really connected. As I said, the liver detoxifies all of these toxins through your bowel movements, and so taking care of your gut health is really important. And so here are some of the top things that you can do to just improve your gut. Eating enough fiber from vegetables, from leafy greens, from cruciferous veggies and complex carbs like potatoes and quinoa and things like that. And drinking enough water, because if you eat too much fiber but not enough water, that can actually cause you to get constipated. So just make sure to have a bit of both and keep it balanced. Another great thing for your gut health is drinking bone broth. Bone broth is like liquid gold, and I think it's another super underrated thing, and it's a really big hack because it's also packed with protein. And I really love the brand Dr. Kellyanne because they come in little to-go packets, so you can take these in your purse if you know you're having a day where you're gonna be running around and you don't know when you're gonna have time to eat. Just bring a little water bottle that's like a thermal with hot water, and then just pop in your bone broth and drink it on the go, or you can have it as a snack in the afternoon, or just implement it into your routine. It's super easy, and they come in fun flavors. So I really like the rosemary thyme and the Thai lemongrass. And as I said, the quality of protein really matters. This bone broth from Dr. Kellyanne is made with grass-fed bovine collagen, so really amazing right there. And collagen can also be really great for your hair and nails. So Dr. Kellyanne actually gave me a code. I'm gonna include that on the screen and in the description. If you're interested in just getting some bone broth, it can really help your gut health. It's definitely really helped mine. A couple other things you can do: calming down your nervous system. Again, I'm gonna keep talking about this because it's too important. So sleeping enough and just chilling the fuck out. And L-glutamine is another supplement you can implement. It's just a little powder. You can pop it in some water before bed. That can really help repair your gut lining, especially if you struggle with some gut health issues like constipation or gas or bloating. Definitely consider implementing that and bone broth. And then the last thing, a lot of pesticides can enter your body through the food that you eat, and so you don't have to buy everything organic, but aim to buy foods from the Dirty Dozen list organic. The EWG puts out a list every year of the foods that have the highest pesticide residue in them, and so just try to buy those foods organic and you're good to go. Last but not least, point number 7 is hydration. Drink enough water. Your healthiest self is a hydrated body. It's so important to drink enough water, and a lot of us forget to drink water. And that is a big cause of fatigue, gut health issues, low energy, and sometimes you think that you're constantly hungry, but you're actually probably dehydrated. So a big hack that helps me drink enough water is just having a big water bottle like the Stanley Cup. I just really like this. It's like the size of my face, and I'm pretty sure this is almost a liter of water. Having this in my desk helps me drink so much more water. There's something about this straw that just makes it really easy to drink from, and I've found that I've ended up drinking almost 3 liters of water just simply from having something like this next to me most of the day. Big hack right there. Remember to drink your water, and if you haven't drank enough water today, this is your sign to go hydrate. Alright you guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that it left you with some food for thought that you can take away when it comes to how you approach your health. As I said in the beginning of the video, I think a lot of people misconstrue health as toning up and losing weight and getting skinny and looking a certain way and eating a certain way. But really your health is so much more multifaceted and multidimensional than that, and it integrates all the things that I talked about in this video, right? From your nervous system and your stress, to how well nourished and hydrated you are, to how well rested you are, and how grateful you feel, how consistent you are with habits that nourish you and that make you happy. All of that matters. So definitely let me know in the comments what you guys are taking away from this video and which of the 7 things that I talked about resonated the most with you and stuck with you the most. Also let me know if you guys want to see more of these like talking educational videos, because I really love talking about these things and I think it's really important, and I'm happy to talk about a wider range of things, from cycle syncing, hormone health, my own health journey, and how I healed my relationship with food. Let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to hit subscribe so we can be YouTube friends and you can be in the loop of all the future videos that I make. I upload videos every single week here on YouTube. Also, everything that I mentioned will be linked in the description, so you can definitely check that out if you're looking for any links. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!